desires. You know what I mean? I want everything I can see. That's the
No, what you about to say about his mom?
She is your biggest fan. His mom, she not only sells his tickets, she makes people come to the concert.
Oh wait, I've met your mom before.
Yeah, if you came to
In Pittsburgh.
Love Languages, James Street.
I did.
His mom goes so hard
She
for
does.
you. Like,
Let me tell you something. I was sitting in a barber chair, oh my God, maybe a year ago, and this guy, he's in there cutting hair, and he said, you look familiar. He said, your mom sold me your CD at my cousin's funeral.
no.
Wait, where?
At a funeral? I love it. No.
Can our mom switch places?
Listen,
Never mind.
Right.
my mom
Edit
gets it
that.
smacking for real when it
No,
comes to
she
me.
really
Yeah,
does. She believes in you.
That's amazing.
Her Facebook page is pretty much his website. I mean, low-key, how does that feel to have that type of support and fuel behind you?
Oh my goodness, that'll make me cry just answering that question.
You should talk about it.
It's phenomenal because everybody doesn't have that experience.
Hello.
And you're funny. Everybody doesn't have that experience, so I'm grateful. Sometimes it could even be overwhelming because my mom, sometimes she turns into acting like she's my manager, and I have to remind her like, Mom.
But what about
Pump
the
your
times
brakes.
when you've told your mom things that really was not supposed to go live or public yet, and then you
Let me tell you something. And my mom, let me tell you how lit she is. She will add to the story. I will say, Mom, today I did an interview and Ray J walked in and watched the interview and told me that he was a fan of mine. She's going to get on the phone and tell people I'm going on tour with Brandy. She's going to get on it. I'm going to be on the new season. Moesha's coming back and I'm going to be on it. She's going to spin this story.
Listen.
She's lit, for
That's
real.
good. That's really
No,
good.
but I can understand why you say that. It's also overwhelming because it's like, just think about, I don't want to say, this is not a good example, but think of the Beyoncés of the world
Right.
have this machine behind them. Apparently, the Beyonce, there's an anomaly group of people that can handle being pushed and being like always thrusted and having to operate at a certain level of excellence.
Right.
But everybody can't handle the
Right.
stage moms.
It's very true. Very true.
And would you consider your mom a stage mom?
My mom was, I can't.
Okay.
Because she was never hard on me. She was always hard on people about me.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So she wasn't the one like, you need to go upstairs and rehearse. She knew I was already doing that.
Gotcha.
Wow.
She was the one that was going to be at her job passing out my flyers, passing out CDs, things like that. So I can't say she was that. So those are two different lenses to look at that from.
It is.
Basically, you are her investment, so she's gonna make sure that
Yeah.
she's gonna do everything she can do.
And what I love about her is she wasn't I don't even like using the word investment. I'm gonna tell you why. When I think of investment, I think of people having an expectation to get something back.
Okay.
She does it because she loves me and I'm her son. So she doesn't look at me as an investment. She looks at me. She's already made the investment by carrying me.
So beautiful.
So yeah, that's what she is.
Mama, mama, you
I hate
know
that song. And I'm friends with Boys to Men, so I can say that.
Why
but
do
I'm
you
gonna tell
hate
you why I
that
hate that
song?
song. Because it makes me cry, and I don't like crying. So
Aw.
I could be, if that song come on, you ever just be driving. I'm emotional already. So like when you want to cry, you know what songs to put on. But that's the song that you don't put on.
Did you just say when you know you want to cry and you know what's up? So wait.
But wait,
cue
you ever be
music.
driving down the street and it's raining and you're already going through and then the radio comes on. Oh, missing you.
Isn't that the most saddest song?
You can start crying
That
for
song
no
really
reason.
just take you through.
Just because
and
it's
that
raining.
scene in your head from Set It Off, you be
Yes.
like,
It's a lot. So there are songs that I have that I try to stay away from.
Ooh, that gives me actually a really good question for you. Is there a song that you've personally written that every time you hear it, it evokes the same emotion that it took, like even to whatever experience that may have happened?
I'm so glad that you asked that question because out of all of the songs that I've written for myself, the song that has the same effect is a song that no one has heard yet, which the world will hear next week because it's going to be released on the new album.
really?
It's entitled "He Can Do It All." I wrote this song about 3 years ago. I've been sitting on it for 3 years. And it pretty much just talks about how God can do anything. He can heal your family, save the world, heal the land, fulfill your dreams, direct you to your purpose. He can do it all. Like whatever you want. There's nothing that he can't do. And it literally invokes just an emotion in me that's uncontrollable.
So when you have to perform that song, you gonna be able to make it through the song?
We're gonna see, because I've never performed it. I wrote it 3 years ago and have been just sitting on it for 3 years.
Okay.
But I know I'm getting ready to have to start, performing that, and it's definitely gonna be an experience for me.
So why 3 years? Because in the last 3 years, you've released a single.
Right.
You've released Have you released 2 albums in the last 3 years? Prior to the new one, Faith Journey, coming out?
I've released a few songs. So
Okay.
I did Love Languages. After Love Languages, I did Quick Love.
Got it. That's probably what I'm thinking.
And after Quick
Okay.
Love, We Serve a Mighty God.
Got it. Okay.
So the reason why I never released that song is because it's so special, and I didn't want to mess it up. I wanted to release it the right way. I wanted to have the right backing, the right support. Certain things you just don't release without really, covering. So this album that's getting ready to come out, Faith Journey, I've been working on this album, I believe, all my life.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I really believe that I've released probably 5 to 6 projects in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But this, I've been working on my whole life. There's songs on this project that I wrote and recorded 6 years ago. That's just getting ready to come out next week. So I'm really, really, really excited about it, and I think I'm ready for it to be released.
Was it challenging for you to
Dang, can I get a question in?
I'm
Lloyd?
was it challenging for you to categorize it, like, as far as genre?
I have a friend, T.C. Carson, Kyle from Living Singles.
Okay.
I was talking to him about this, and he said, stop letting people pressure you into picking which direction. He said, just create music and put it out. Be who you are. My godmom, who actually opens up the album, saying she's on the album. She passed away 2 years ago, God rest her soul. But I remember going through, because we live in a society where God gives you multiple gifts and the world forces you to pick one. And I'm now in the process of getting free from that. The reason why it took me so long to release these songs from Faith Journey, because when you release something, you're held accountable, and I'll be responsible to talk about it now. So that's different. When you release Faith Journey, people are going to ask me about my journey. Now I'm forced to talk about it. So when you release things, you got to be prepared, because I'm going to be held accountable to this faith journey that I'm on.
Are there songs that you have written a long time ago that you didn't put out because you were insecure about them?
I have to flip it. I wouldn't say insecure. I would say, as an independent artist, not feeling like I had the finances to push it to the places that I felt it belonged. That's a lot of... I've held on to music because I felt like I need a record deal. Because once I get a record deal, the world is going to hear this. But Faith Journey might reach 10,000 people, and 10,000 lives may be changed in a way that I can't talk about because I don't know what the journey is, but I'll be okay with that.
So you feel very confident in your songwriting then?
I'm confident in my songwriting because I write for me. I write for my own breakthrough.
Interesting.
And I was just sharing with a friend of mine about writing for you. A lot of times we get into positions where we have to write for other people, and I'm not really the greatest in that. Okay. I know I write from personal experiences. Okay. I can't write about what you've been through.
Right.
So a lot of times I've written, my success in songwriting has been me writing songs for me and people liking what I wrote for me and wanted it for them. Okay. Because it just fit their situation or fit the moment that they had with God. So I would say that that's where that comes from. That's where that comes from.
We Serve a Mighty God did numbers, right?
It did a little bit of something.
It's a little bit of something. I'm trying to be a little modest about it. No, but it's
I got that song chose me.
Okay.
Because I wrote it, and I remember I was on the phone with one of my best friends, and we were talking, and we were just laughing and cutting up, doing what I do best. And I started hearing in my head, I said, let me call you right back. And at that time,
you said pause?
I said pause. I said, let me call you right back. So at that time, my piano, when I was living with my mother, my piano was right next to my bed. Actually, I live by myself now, and the piano is still by my bed.
Yes.
But then this was a different journey when you're in your mother's house and it's by the bed. It's different. And I got up and I started playing, and I literally recorded it in GarageBand, recorded the whole demo, and I called my friend back. I let her hear it over the phone. She said, Travis, the world is going to sing that song. It's international. It's all that. That was 2015, 16.
It's so good too.
That's so funny. I think us as singers, we do that. When we hear something, we got to go hurry up into our voice record and record it really quick. Because we'll forget it.
I had to.
And when you got to obey. You got to obey, because when it gets to you, it'll literally leave you. But if it's...
That's true. Now, that's true.
You got to record it right then and there. So has that ever happened to you where you came up with a tune and you're like, oh, I'll do it. I'll remember it. And didn't remember it?
Yes, that has definitely happened. And I'm very careful with that now, because you really got to be careful with that. And I take that as a sign of God saying, hey, write it down when I give it to you. Record it when I give it to you, because there's times where I've literally forgotten, and I've had to go back to sleep and ask God to give me another dream and give me another melody that matched what he gave me that I couldn't remember.
You know what? You mentioned something about being in your mom's house, and I know you've created a lot of music in your mom's house. Have you ever felt like, I need to get in that space, because in that space it was just something that organic happened. It happened. Like, did you feel like, even being here now?
Did you set your house up like your mom's house?
You know what? First of all, I want you to know that I love you so much, and because you are asking questions, you both are asking questions that I've never been asked before. As many interviews as I've done, these are more intense, and probably because we are friends and you all have a little bit more access to my life than the average person. But that is so true, and I have to add to that. I've been living in Atlanta now for a year in my place, and I have not created music in my place like I did when I was in my mom's house. Now, granted, I now have peace, because I'm able to afford to live on my own, pay my own bills. Right. But it seems like when I didn't have peace, I was able to get up and create like I needed to. So I'm trying to still now find my niche in a new city, because it just seems like sometimes when your songs, when you're in that rock and that hard place and you don't got the money that you need, you don't have the gas. That's what the song. I mean, so it's funny that you say that, because I have not had those musical experiences in my new place that I had in my mother's house when I was struggling the most.
That struggle is one of the biggest. I'm so glad you said that, because it's like, so now what are you going to use, because you are an artist, you're a songwriter. Yeah. So have you created something? You know,
for Faith Journey, I flew home.
I know, that's what I was thinking about that.
So we just got to keep it funky. For Faith Journey, you can ask my friends. Every time I came up with a song, I said I got to get home, and I would fly home to create and to get in the studio.
Your house and your engineer.
To the house and my engineer.
Wow.
Diesel has been engineering me. My big brother Diesel has been engineering me for 15 years. A little over 15 years now. There's a comfortability that I have with him that I don't have. There's a vulnerability that I have with him that I'm able to mess up. So a lot of times we don't want to go to these $1 million studios and you got all these great engineers and they get to see all the flaws. And you have to create that with people. Yeah. I have that with this man, where I can go in there and mess up, I can screw up, I can come out. There's times I've came out and said, Diesel, I'm going home. I can't get it tonight. And I've ended the whole session and went home. Or I would say, hey, can you just put that on loop? You go downstairs and watch TV and let this get in my spirit.
You got to sit in you, huh? You just got to feel it. You just can't force it out.
No.
It literally has to just kind of flow out of you.
Yep, it has to. So I'm in the process right now of creating that niche, creating that home.
That space.
Come on, home is a great home. Yeah. Because when you really think about it.
I remember telling you when I first moved here, I said, I've been here 6 months and I still don't feel like I'm at home. You said it might take a couple years. Yeah. Sometimes even my place feels like I'm in a hotel.
Wow.
But because you got to understand, there's so many experiences at my mom's house. I taught my first songs in my mom's house. I wrote my first songs in my mom's house. I came up with what I'm doing right now in my mom's house. Yes. You know what I mean? I envision myself living in Atlanta in my mom's house. So it's almost like I wish I can take that same energy everywhere I go.